The board will hear one hearing today, numbered 8208, a conditional use revocation hearing for 710 Russell. During the hearings today, your testimony is being recorded. If you come forward to testify, please state your name and address and be sworn in. As you testify, please direct your comments to the board and not to those in the audience. Members of the audience are asked to remain silent and not coach the witnesses. During your testimony, members of the board may have questions for you. Following the hearings today, the board will proceed with its regular agenda. Following the conclusion of the regular agenda, the board will deliberate and vote on the hearing. The board will notify the permit holder of its decision by mail. Hearing number 8208 is being conducted pursuant to section 26.100.030 of the revised code of the City of St. Louis. The purpose of the hearing is to determine whether the conditional use permit issued to Energy Marketing LLC at 710 Russell, CO John Guys, as a convenience store, subject to certain conditions, should be revoked. The conditional use permit is numbered as 108318, and the condition at question today is condition number 5, which reads: all banners, pennants, and similar devices designed for temporary outdoor display shall be prohibited. All graphics shall be exhibited as a permanent source or displayed from permanently mounted sign backgrounds. The Board of Public Service has in its possession the following documents which are being introduced into evidence: a certified copy of section 26.100.030 of the zoning code of the City of St. Louis. Item 2, the conditional use permit numbered as 108318 to Energy Express CO John Geis at 7110 Russell as a convenience store. Item 3, a letter dated July 7th, 2017, sent to John Geis, Energy Marketing LLC, from the zoning inspector warning of the violation of condition number 5 that were found upon a recent site inspection, and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days of the date of the letter. Item 4, a memorandum from the zoning inspector to the zoning administrator stating that upon her reinvestigation performed on August 10th, 2017, the zoning inspector still found violations of condition number 5. Item 5, public notices for today's hearings. Item 6, a certified letter dated October 10th, 2017, sent to the conditional use permit holder from the board secretary providing notice of today's hearing. The Office of the Zoning Administrator has the burden to prove the conditional use permit conditions have not been complied with. After all evidence of the zoning administrator has been presented, the board will ask for additional testimony, if any, in support of the revocation. Then, the conditional use holder will be given an opportunity to present evidence. Lastly, the board will hear other testimony in opposition to the revocation, if any. The board asks the representative of the Office of the Zoning Administrator to please come forward and be sworn in.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
Would you state your name for the board?
My return as zoning inspector for the City of St. Louis.
Can you please tell the board about your investigations?
Okay. Well, my investigation started a while ago for this particular convenience store and gas market. Number 5 still has some temporary signage on the windows. I do not find permits for the signs that are on the windows at this time. So that would mean that they would still be in violation.
So when you talk about the signs that are still in violation, are you referring to this?
No, that's gone.
That's not it?
No.
Okay.
My report is laying here. I mean, the report is laying here to be given to you.
Okay.
So there are still cigarette signs in the window, and then there's still some LED signs in the window that do not have permits at this time.
Okay. Okay. Does the board have any further questions?
What, offhand, Ms. Turner, how many signs have they complied with that are roughly ballpark that they were initially cited for with their conditional use?
Well, they have taken the big banner down that was on the side of the building, and they did take down some cigarette signs that were on some posts out in front of the building, but the signs that are in question are still the ones that are in the windows.
Okay, and I assume from your observation, they're simply like taped to the windows, or?
Well, yeah, I think a couple of them, from looking at them, it looks like they have those, what you call those little sucker things where you can put water on them and they stick to the
Right.
window, but that still makes it a temporary.
Right.
It's not a permanent sign. The only permanent sign that I've seen that they have permits for is the name of the business, which is Energy Express, and they did have a sign for the fuel sign. They do have permit for both of those. Nothing else do they have a permit for.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the board? Thank you. If there's anyone else present who wishes to testify in support of the revocation, please come forward and be sworn in. Seeing none, the board asks the conditional use permit holder to please come forward and be sworn in.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Would you state your name and address for the board, please?
John Geis, 2130 Kinlan, St. Louis 63121.
So the zoning inspector had notified you of the signs, and it looks like you have made some effort to take some of the signs down. Are you aware of the other signs that you need to take down?
The signs that we were aware of was the banner that was on the side of the building, and it was thank you. And it was just a cardinal banner kind of supporting the team, but there were some pennants also, which I don't think she mentioned, but there was pennants that we did take down. There was some other signage that was stuck on the outside that would be considered, in my opinion, an outside sign. That was removed. So at this point, there's not a single, and also some signs that might have been on a pole, a cigarette sign that a cigarette rep usually puts up. Those have been taken down. So as far as I'm concerned, all the outside signage that we're referring to is not, there's nothing there. Signs that I'm hearing that is on the other side that would be on the interior of the store that's showing outside. I guess my question to the board is, are these the signs that we're referring to?
So I would say that, the best way to clarify that would be to have a conversation with the zoning inspector and find out what her interpretation of the code is pertaining to those signs. And then, either you can remove them or you can get them permitted, whatever the code allows. And, that would be my answer to that. So do you have any objection to that?
Well, I'm just looking at the letter of what I received as far as an exterior sign. As far as I'm concerned, any sign that would be inside would be considered an interior sign.
Okay.
If I was to remove every sign that was visible from the outside, I would have nothing up even in the inside of the location. So I guess it's more of a clarification if a neon sign, let's say, or a lottery sign that every retailer has given to us by the state, everyone has that in the sign, or in their window that's in the interior, of course,
Right.
showing out. Tells you the millions that you can win and all that stuff. If that's considered, if this is what we're talking about, then I guess I've got some, concerns about that. But as I stated, there's not a single sign on the outside exterior of this building today. I was there to verify that this morning. There's nothing there anymore. And was there? Absolutely there was.
Again, I would defer to the zoning inspector to interpret with you what the code is and what the condition allows within that code. And, it's either not allowed by your conditional use or the code, or it is with a permit. And so I just believe that is something, a detail that you would have to work through with the zoning inspector. I can't answer your specific question here.
Okay.
But typically, the signs that are being referred to are signs that are for advertising or for the building. You're not referring to a no loitering sign, are you? Something like that?
Well, it's funny you say that because one of the pictures that was sent to me was a handicap sign. Now, do I need a permit for a handicap sign on the building? I'll have to refer.
All right.
I don't quite understand that one. So I guess if I can get and I will talk to the inspector about that, but a list of signs that are admissible and maybe examples of some that are not, that would be very helpful for me.
So I guess my question would be, are you okay with working with the city inspector to come to some mutual agreement on what needs to be done?
Well, absolutely. As long as I can, as long as we're consistent with everything, then sure.
Right, okay.
Meaning I'm just referred to those, just to use as the example of the lottery that I know that every single store out there has. And if everyone has permits for those, I'll be the first in line to get one.
That would be my recommendation,
Yeah.
is that, if the board does not revoke this permit, that you would work with the zoning inspector to come to some mutual agreement on what is acceptable and what isn't. And if something needs a permit, she could certainly help you find the way through the process to do that. So,
Fantastic.
all right. Does the board have any further questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there's anyone else present opposing this revocation, please come forward to testify and be sworn in. All right. Seeing none, I would like to add as additional documents and introduce those into evidence at today's hearing, the zoning inspector's report that was submitted to the board today. The matter concerning hearing number 8208 is now closed and submitted. The board will now move on to its regular agenda. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Here.
Director Wilson.
Here.
Director Hayes.
Here.
Director Augustin is not present. Director Moore is not present. Director Edwards.
Here.
And President Bradley.
Here, we have a quorum. I'll call a meeting order.
From the President, an ordinance. Recommended and approved by the Airport Commission, the Board of Public Service, the Board of Estimate and Appropriation, authorizing a First Amendment to Section 1 of the Airfield Building and Environs Projects Ordinance 70410, approved December 19, 2016, which authorized a multi-year public work and improvement program, Airfield Building and Environs Projects at Lambert St. Louis International Airport, increasing the total estimate cost of the airport building and environs project by $630,000 to $17,630,000. and amending Exhibit A entitled Fiscal Year 2017 Project Equipment List by adding a new project to the list entitled Replacement of 500,000 gallon airfield maintenance diesel fuel storage tank, authorizing the first supplemental appropriation in the total amount of $630,000 from the Airport Development Fund to Airport Building and Environs Projects. Ordinance 70410 approved December 19, 2016 for the payment of costs for work and services authorized therein containing a severability clause and an emergency clause. Recommendation that plans and specs for letting number 8652, concrete and brick removal replacement and complete sidewalk installation SP 105, St. Louis, Missouri be approved. Preliminary approval for letting number 8649, Germania Street improvements, Gravois Avenue to I-55, Federal Project STP 5424-606, St. Louis, Missouri. Electrical agreement for Penrose Park between Union Electric Company doing business as Amarin, Missouri, and the City of St. Louis in the amount of $20,268.48. Agreement for the North Broadway Street Lighting Substation between Union Electric Company and Amarin, Missouri, and the City of St. Louis in the amount of $9,778.52. Recommendation that the Board declares as the emergency action to construct third security lane checkpoint F at Terminal 2, St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Recommends approval. From the President, Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permit for FOPA Partners LLC requests for public improvements at 3700 Forest Park and 242 South Vandervender be denied by reason of the fact that the applicant will have to resubmit the application once plans have been revised. From the Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that the Board declares as the emergency action roof replacement to chlorine maintenance building at the Chain of Rocks and Howard Bend water treatment plants. Recommends approval. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permits for AT&T be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. From manhole near 1400 McCausland, bore 154 feet to a new 3x5 by 3 feet handhole in the sidewalk at 7019 Dale. Dig 1 feet to a new 3x3 pad with fiber box. From handhole near 7019 Dale, bore 78 feet to rise pole near 1401 McCausland. From manhole at 1325 Shenandoah, bore 402 feet to a new 3x5 by 3 feet handhole at 1301 Shenandoah. From new 3x5 by 3 feet handhole, dig 1 feet to new 4x4 pad with pad and fiber. Remove 5x7 section of sidewalk to dig and place handhold. Replace concrete southwest from new handhold at 1301 Shenandoah, bore 4 fibers, 121 feet to rise pole at 2217 South 13th. From new handhold at 1301 Shenandoah, bore 1 fiber, 472 feet to rise pole at 2117 South 13th. Bore 186 feet from AT&T manhole near 754 Bella Reeve to new 3x5 by 3 feet handhole at 757 Dover. From handhole, dig 1 feet to new 4x4 concrete pad with fiber distribution box. Also from new handhole, bore to multiple riser pole locations. Recommendation that the following permits for Charter Spectrum be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Charter will be doing a 4-inch underground board to place 2 ducts, fiber, and coax underground. The board will begin at the southwest corner of 1923 East Prairie, going northeast to the southeast corner of North Market by 3744, then heading east, ending in front of 3624 North Market. Starting at existing Charter vault in the rear of 5821 Wilson, Charter would like to bore 500 feet to the rear of 2060 Hampton. Recommendation that permit for Amarin, Missouri to construct new conduit banks on market between 14th, 11th, Pine, and Tucker, approximately 3,000 linear feet, to open trench construction on Market and 1,500 linear feet to open trench construction on Pine. Recommends approval subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Utilities and Public Safety, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. 4260 Forest Park, SLLC, Real Estate Cortex, 4240, 4256, 4248 through 52, and 4260 Forest Park, and 4165 through 67, 4235 through 37, and 4239 Duncan, and City Block 3917. LRA for 2700 Rucker Street in City Block 1818. DCM Enterprise LLC, 2501 through 2525 North 9th Street, 2500 through 2524 North 10th Street, 914 through 921 and 921 Rear Benton, and 916 through 918 Warren in City Block 340. Emmanuel Temple Church of God Apostolic Faith, Inc., to consolidate land at 4933 Union in City Block 5558. Midas Forest Park, LLC, to consolidate land at 3745, 3755, and 3763 Forest Park in City Block 3818 East. 2706 LLC and Joanna Dooley to consolidate land at 2706 and 2710 Accomack in City Block 1379. 26 Maryland Plaza LLC to consolidate land at 221 through 299 York and 215 York in City Block 3882. Recommendation that permit for KHDH Properties LLC to subdivide land at 1808 through 1812 South 10th in City Block 385 be denied by reason of the fact it is a violation of Board Order 720. From the Director of Streets, recommendation that permit for St. Alfonso Rock Catholic Church to hang banners on 4 light poles along Grand and Cook at 1118 North Grand be approved subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Safety, now we have the conditional uses.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the board. My name is Michael Vicentainer, zoning plan examiner for the city, and I'll be representing the building commissioner at today's meeting. Per board order number 766, transmitted herewith are recommendations for the following conditional use agenda applications. Approval with conditions is recommended for 7 applications at 4633 Ray, 8684 Oriole, 6101 Lillian, 3801 South Kings Highway, 7120 Manchester, 3958 South Grand, and 1641 Tower Grove.
Are there any questions on the conditional uses from the board? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
Move to approve the conditional uses.
Second.
Moved and seconded for approval. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustin is not present. Director Moore is not present. Director Edwards.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Conditional uses are approved. Hearing number 8208, 710 Russell Energy Marketing. My understanding from the hearing and the presentation by the conditional use holder is that they made an effort to take down unauthorized signs, but there were some questions pertaining to signs that were remaining. And so my take on it is a conversation with the zoning inspector to determine what is allowable by the conditional use and or the code would be the appropriate way to handle this without revoking it. But I will open the floor for discussion.
Are you proposing tabling it until we get confidence that they are going to remove it?
I would propose that. I would propose that we give them 30 days to resolve the discrepancy and make the proper adjustment. Have the zoning administrator perform another inspection and report back to the board.
I make that motion to
Second.
Okay. Moved and seconded to not revoke, table it for 30 days upon a reinspection and come back to the board. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie?
Aye.
Director Wilson?
Aye.
Director Hayes?
Aye.
Director Augustin is not present. Director Moore is excused. Director Edwards?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, not revoked. And tabled. I'd like to turn your attention to our meeting minutes from last Tuesday, October 31st, 2017. Are there any questions or comments on the meeting minutes as presented?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded for approval of the minutes. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie?
Aye.
Director Wilson?
Aye.
Director Hayes?
Aye.
Director Augustin is not present. Director Moore is excused. Director Edwards?
Abstain.
And President Bradley.
Aye, minutes are approved. Today's agenda, questions or comments on the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda?
Second.
Moved and seconded for approval. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie?
Aye.
Director Wilson?
Aye.
Director Hayes?
Aye.
Director Augustin is not present. Director Moore is excused. Director Edwards?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, today's agenda is approved. Motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.